Right, guys, hope everyone's doing good. What we're going to be doing, we are going to be doing an RDA for this review. This was sent to me for the purpose of the review. This is the Thunderhead Tauren the Vortex RDA. It's a 30mm RDA, so it's quite a big boy. If you don't know Thunderhead Creations, they're famous for doing things like the Blaze with Mike Vapes. The Tauren is a big lineup of very many RDAs. I think there was even a Squonk mod a few years ago, a mechanical mod. It's something along that line. Tauren Solo, they've done a fucking lot. It's fair to say Thunderhead Creations is probably been out just as long. Well, I'm going to say around about 2016, 2017 kind of time. I think 2017 is probably about right. So that what we're looking about a good 8 years or so. They're well known within the market. They're doing AIOs now. They did the, I can't even remember what that was called. They did the mech Boro with the MOSFET chip in as well. They did the Tauren, was it the Tauren RBA in that one? So yeah, you know, there's quite a lot of stuff to do with Thunderhead Creations, and it's not just RBAs, RTAs. They also do a shitload of coils, and their coils are quite rated quite highly for mass manufactured coils. So I'm quite looking forward to giving this a bit of a go. I've never actually had a Thunderhead Creations RDA before, so if you for a rebuildable dripper atomizer, you would have thought I'd have had one from the years of vaping I've been, but it's just one of them brands that seem to escape me on the RDA front. So yeah, let's get down to it. Right, let's get on to building this actual thing. One thing I like here is there's shitloads of room here, absolutely massive well. Poster's quite deep. It would be easy actually doing it on a mod because the Allen key doesn't really sit well on a build stand, so you know it's definitely going to have to be something I put on the mod first. So I'll take that off the top side. I'm going to be using the top side anyway, because as you saw from the other video, I installed the Squonk pin. So yeah, I already had the predetermined place from this. The actual build quality is really good. I'm not 100% sure. It looks quite partly frosted though, the metal on the inside. So it's not the most. It's not the most cleanest, but you know, it's clean, but it's not the most fresh looking. It's almost like it's painted or sandblasted, if you get what I mean. So yeah, but it's very solid RDA. The airflow is massive here by looking at it. It's a lot easier doing it on a mod than it is a stand. I really need to get some drivers which actually fit through there properly. I might have one somewhere, I just can't bother to fish through them. So yeah, I suppose that's the problem. What was the recommended legs on that yesterday? The coil cutting tool. I think it was 5. So yeah, let's cut 5. I'm not going to use the coils that were supplied. I'm going to be using my own. So yeah, these, what I'm using is 226 by 38 Nichrome 80s. And yeah, these are just fused Claptons. Right. I think maybe 5.5 might have been a little bit better, because these look a little low. But we'll see how it goes. There's plenty of room on the video for a bit of feedback in there. So yeah. These are 3mm ID. The same kind of ID the 3-core 28s were. I wouldn't mind at a post where it all lined up a little bit better. So I think, you know, like a little ledge here kind of thing. But, you know, I mean, I suppose that's what makes the well as deep as it is. So, yeah. I think it is kind of sacrificing one thing for another. But, as I said, I'm really impressed by the actual build in this. I'm not sure if you noticed yesterday, it isn't all one piece. So when you do the squonk pin, the legs here do pop out, so you kind of have to hold it into place when you're doing the squonk pin. A bit like, I'm not sure how many people use the dead rabbit, but as I said, most people probably get the idea. It's the same on that all. So yeah, I mean, so far it seems to be a bit of a breeze, to be honest, to build on. So there we go, nice and tight, and coils just sitting like that. There we go. Perfect. See that? What are we doing there? Yeah, I mean, it looks a little low. We'll see how it goes. What we're reading at is a 0.1. That don't seem right, but you know.
What? Go to bed now then before I sit down.
So yeah, I mean, it looks good enough. So we'll just start pulsing this through. It might stabilise a bit. Pulsing at 100's no good, is it? Right. Here we go. There. Slowly bedding in now. Give it a bit of a tweak. Give it a bit of a spread out. These coils have been sat a while. I kind of bulk made ages ago, you know, so it might take a little longer to go. Sometimes spacing out a coil really does help here. There we go. Firing from the inside out. There we go. Let's pump it up a little bit. 68 watts. How's it looking? No hot spots. Let's pump it up to 80. If possible, when you're doing any kind of build, my recommendation is always pulse up to roughly what you use. Since it's 226, about 100. See, no hot spots. See, and then let's go 120. People might think that's a little bit excessive, but I'll be going about 120 on a build. So, 132. See, no hot spots at 132. Decent coils. With any luck, I say that. So here we have it. It's time to whip this thing up. It's going to be fucking baking hot, so I do always recommend waiting for it to cool down. What I'm going to be using today, I'm going to be using Flavour by UK Flavours / Big Juice UK Black Cherry, which is a basic flavour, but I made it from double concentrate and I made shitloads of it, and I know what the flavour tastes like. I think first things first, I'm going to try dripping to see how it is to drip before I use the squonk, because let's face it, a lot of people still like to drip, and accessibility when you're dripping is kind of a key one with a lot of RDA users, especially the old school types, I think it's nice, and I'm using Muji cotton here. Some people don't like Muji, myself personally love it, I'm not even going to have to prep that really, I don't think. There you go. Yeah, there's tons of room. There's literally going to be tons of room down there. So, right, let's fluff that out a bit. People say, why are you fluffing it out? Well, I like to fluff it out. It makes it easier for the e-liquid to travel up the thing. I always like to fluff it out from underneath too. Yeah, it also helps to get rid of the husk. I always recommend getting one of these kind of tweezers. They're fucking fantastic. Nice sharp pair. Helps to really grain out your cotton, especially if your cotton's a little bit on the thick side.
Oh, I haven't taken out.
Give this a little bit of a trim. See, because of how much room's actually here, I think I might literally just trim to the edge of the deck, bit of an angle. bit there. Might have fluffed it out a little bit too much, but it's fucking, you know. See, look at that. That's nice and easy to build on. That is absolutely the nicest thing I've built on in quite a while. To be fair, it's probably easier than the bloody dead rabbit. You know, but yeah. Usually the dead rabbit is my go-to for teaching people. You could probably do a nice big single in that if you wanted to. Yet again, I would probably increase the leg size to about 5.5 mils, you know, because I'm thinking side on. Yeah, side on is going to hit the sides, might go round, but at least if the coil leg is a little bit higher, you're literally going to get the airflow and it's going to come up the side of the coil a bit further. I mean, as it is, I'm not 100% sure if the airflow is going to touch much of the top of the coil here. But, yeah, I think it might be alright, you know. So, yeah, juice. Bring the watch all the way down. Oh, really need to pay attention when I'm doing that. Right, what am I going to use to clean that? Right, so when you're throwing up your coils, you might want to be careful of the airflow, because as you see there, it's quite easy to leak out the side. Juicy. There we have it. I think that's good enough. Pop the cap on. Right. There we go. Now we're lined up. So when you put the top cap on, you're literally, to lock it in, you're going all the way across, but you kind of have to come back on yourself to line your coils up to the airflow, which I'm not sure I really like. And to be fair, I'm not 100% sure the airflow actually lines up properly, but considering it's top airflow, you're literally looking on the inside anyway. So right, let's crack this open. Yeah, it don't really matter, because once you go right across, because it's top airflow, it'll be shooting straight down anyway. I think that's down chamber there, isn't it? Yeah, so it kind of acts like a chamber in itself. So that's fully open. Sweet. Come back on top. Okay, I'm a couple of days in now. I've been using the Tauren pretty constantly, to be honest. I've got nothing but positive things to really say about it. There are one or two little kinks to it that I'm not 100% thrilled on, but as far as the quality goes, it's pretty good. One of the kinks I find is the drip tip. I mean, this is pushed pretty far down, and as you can, I'm not sure if you can see here, it's not quite flush. It seems to rise back up again. That could be the O-rings themselves. I can't seem to get the twat off again, but yeah, I mean, as I said, they feel quite tight, but it still leaves that slight rise in it. And it's not a major issue. Another thing that I found is when you do the airflow control, it only cuts from side to side off. You could alternatively kind of twist the cap off, unalign it so it looks like it's completely, your airflow's just coming in from the side and down into, aiming into the cotton. I mean, once you look at that, it kind of makes a U shape within the airflow itself, so it kind of really restricts it. However, I don't find the flavour all that direct, because what's basically happening there, your airflow's channeling down the sides into the airflow itself. So it's kind of creating, you've got airflow rather coming directly in at the coils, they're coming down at an angle into the sides. It's restrictive, but I don't think you're getting the full flavour from it. So if you were going to go for that restricted pull, I'd just channel your top cap normally and just leave it side by side, standard airflow, as you would. The RDA itself is very, it feels old school. It feels like how RDA should have been. Like, you're looking at the old Immortal kind of RDAs, big, heavy kind of RDAs. And I'm quite impressed with that. I mean, it's not a particularly very expensive RDA either. I mean, I think last time I checked it was about 30 odd quids in some places, you know. So for an RDA at that price, I think you're getting a lot of RDA, and the airflow is absolutely massive. It squonks really well. As you could drip through the top, but I'm not really a dripping kind of person. I don't think the drip tip, if you were going to drip from the top, I think you need a kind of a wider drip tip area. I don't think 810 drip tips are really the one for it. You know, so, but as far as a squonking RDA, it's a bloody brilliant RDA. And as I said, I'm really thrilled with the quality of it, and it just looks so good. So, yeah, any improvements? I mean, to be honest, I would like to have seen a little bit more room in the deck, as you can see here. These are only 3mm coils. They're 226 by 36 nichrome, and yeah, I mean, they work well. As I said, the guide on the coil cutting tool gave it 5mm. I would probably suggest doing 5.5 if you've got one that's a little bit more precise. You might be able to do 3.5mm coils, maybe, but as far as it goes at current, 3mm small mass coils work absolutely fine, but I would have liked a little bit more room. But to be fair, what you get in the deck, it's a big deck, considering, you know, you get a big well, it fits a lot of juice in. You're not having to squonk all the time. But I'm kind of I like higher wattages. A lot of people like between 80 and 100. I like to push it my coils a little bit more. So, you know, I'm running 120. I know what my coils can take power wise, and this is just working absolutely fine. I think the airflow is nice and clean. And yeah, so I hope you guys have enjoyed this review, and if you haven't already, come join us on Dark Human Vapes, the Facebook group. where it's an advice group, or it's a fun little community for people. We're completely unsponsored, completely unbiased. We don't take no bullshit from nobody, and yeah, feel free to invite your smoking friends if they're looking for help to quit smoking. There's a lot of knowledgeable people in the group. Sometimes giveaways are being done. Sometimes we're finding places for people to go to find products to help them quit smoking. So, we're a bit of we're kind of one of them groups. We do a little bit of everything with people. So I hope everyone has an absolutely fantastic day, and I will catch you all soon.